To the moon. This is probably the hottest disc being talked about right now in the trilogy world. It is the Evader. Honestly, this is probably one of the more unique discs I've seen just because of how neutral it is, but at the end, it loves to finish. If you've ever thrown an Explorer and you've been wanting something a little more stable, but the Opto X might be a little too much at times, or doesn't have the same feel or shape because they're a little bit bored flat, the Evader is exactly what you're looking for. This complements the Explorer. They go hand in hand. They'd be best friends for life, and this is why it's easily going to make my bag for the 2021 season. If you've ever thought like how the Verdict and the EMAC Truth they just are perfect for each other, as far as you can have an overstable mid and then have a neutral mid. That's the same concept you get with the Evader and the Explorer, where the Evader is more like the Verdict and the Explorer is more like your EMAC Truth. Really, really quality disc. What I really like about it is that I can throw it really far on angles. Like if I want to push it over on an anhyzer, I know it's just going to slowly work itself out, but I know it's not going to turn a whole lot. It's really good from a hyzer release as well. Just kind of holds that hyzer, where a lot of more overstable discs like a Felon might work to the ground if you release them on hyzer, where this you can kind of push it on a hyzer and trust that it's going to stay in the air. The Evader is 100% a go-to disc, and it's going to be for a lot of players. I could see myself even relying on this even on some of the bigger courses, because if I don't need to throw a Raider or an Enforcer, I can just pull this out, pipe it into the middle of the fairway, and trust that it's going to be good every single time. So let's go see how it flies. I'm going to rip it on a bunch of different angles into some crosswinds, and we'll just let the throwing do the talking. I'm going to show you how the Evader flies on a hyzer release. Scratch that one. I'm going to try and give these a little more flat, to maybe even forced over release, and see how they fight out. I do have a left to right wind, so it should help it carry, but as long as I give it a good enough air time, we should still see it finish back out, or at least stay super straight. So we have the Evader. This disc, I'm just such a fan of. You heard me talk about it plenty in the intro, but to give you an idea, after seeing it fly, I have some that are seasoned in that I can start out a little bit more on hyzer and watch them stand up, but they never really peel over and I lose them to the right, like sometimes what happens with the Explorer. But that's what that disc is made for. This disc is like kind of trying to be a little bit more straight, especially at those higher speeds. And you know, the difference between these is the Explorer I'm smoothing out. When I smash it, it's got to be on hyzer. With the Evader, I can smash it flat if I want to and trust that I'm going to get a little bit of drift and then a little bit of fade at the end to keep it on that straight pattern. But again, as they beat in, I'm just getting a little bit of extra distance, but not sacrificing any accuracy. The newer ones out of the box, I'm able to rip a little bit more flat, maybe even force over some, and trust that it's always going to work itself back to center. The part that I really like about the Evader as well, if you can see it in the video, is how it finishes. It's not a dump left. It's just a gradual finish and kind of straight to left finish, especially on a right-hand backhand throw. That's what gets this disc the extra distance and allows you to be super accurate with it, especially in the woods. I mean, I know I'm throwing in the open air out here, but this disc is giving me confidence whenever we get to those tight wooded lines, and I still want to send it. So if you guys are interested, these will be out, I think, DDO time. So be on the lookout for this drop. I'm hyped about it, and you're going to see a lot of pros in the Trilogy lineup who are also hyped about this disc. Guys, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe, leave a comment down below with what fairway driver you're using that's similar to the Evader, and if you're thinking about switching to the Evader. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support, and we'll catch you in the next one. Be dynamic.
Mm.
I'm throwing like